cute. Finally, we have a Sonic movie. This is a nice family film. Okay, we stepped it up. We got a real Sonic film. This one was genuinely fun. Let's go.
I would do anything. I would sacrifice any person, anything that exists to bring me back to those last 30 minutes, bro. I would literally shatter humanity to bring me back to those last 30 minutes. That shit. Oh my.
We did it. We made it through the waiting cycle. And I can say, the Sonic movies led me from young childhood to young adulthood. From early freshman year, I think, to college. How fun. I'm officially Unk status. But let's get on course to my review of Sonic Movie 3. Yo, what's up guys? It's your Sox6. Yeah, don't question what I'm wearing. Me and my sister were doing a little onesie day, but at least for the Sonic review, I got my Sonic hat on. You know where I stand. But today, we're going to be reviewing Sonic 3 and how it also adapts Sonic Adventure 2 in its own way, but almost perfectly. I want everyone to take a second real quick to go and leave a like on the video. It only takes a second of your time. It helps a small content creator like me get this video out to thousands of people. If you want to jump right into the video, please skip to the time somewhere on screen because I want to say something really fast. I want to start making a trend in these essay style videos at least to do little sponsors. So today's sponsor is me. Depending on this video's success, I plan to take my Twitter and Instagram account more seriously, rebranding my Instagram and redefining my Twitter. If you're interested in my takes, my breakdowns, and personal content, please go follow them on screen. I even plan to start posting some of my art, both fan and personal art from my college. So if you're interested, I would appreciate if you shot me a follow. And if you want to chat, please come down and join my Discord server. With over 300 plus members, I am there often. So if any of that interests you, I would really appreciate if you shot me a follow and came down to join. Thank you. This movie is a dream come true for me and a whole bunch of others. And I want to start it how it did for most of us when we booted up SA2. With the hero's story. In the film, Gunn is calling out for Team Sonic's help, specifically Commander Walters, who knows all about Shadow. So how did they ask? Well, they crashed Sonic's Earth Day. Okay, I'll stop too. I thought it was funny. This scene in particular is also the introduction of the half-baked character in Captain Rockwell. I might say something about her later. The next scene is the Tokyo chase scene, is what I like to call it. The action and interactions in this scene between the characters are so amazing. The dynamics between the three boys and the introduction of Shadow sets this movie up perfectly for general audiences, specifically when Shadow says, "You jumped out of a gun helicopter," and bam. General audiences know Shadow's got beef with Gunn and Sonic is essentially with Gunn. They hit the Chow Garden in an absolutely adorable scene and a very cute scene for Tails. He's a W in this movie, and that's where they also hear about Shadow's backstory from Walters. I can't remember the events exactly, I've only seen this movie once at the time of this recording, but they regroup to work with Eggman for a short amount of time to find the gun base where Shadow was made from. And this is where they get screwed over and have to regroup again, this time with Tom and Maddie. This sequence is fine, it's very predictable, but it's definitely fine. It's just the stuff that happens with Team Robotnik that's more interesting, and for the heroes makes the pacing a little weird during this part, in my opinion. But we'll chat about all that later. Once they settle in, they stage a coup to get the second key before Team Robotnik. That goes awry too, as Captain Rockwell is the one to foil both teams' plans. Once again, this sequence is awesome. Sonic, Tails, and Knuckles' brothership is on a relatable, lovable plane. Tails and Knuckles play very close to, I would say, a main character role as Sonic does. Obviously not to the same extent, but they are not to be messed around with this film. They do a very great job at being characters. I love how the writers implemented them in ways that are really much better than what they last showed from the last product in Knuckles. They end up with the key though due to Tom using Tails' gadget from Sonic Movie 2, which I love to see coming back. Tails' development in this rocks. He impersonates a dead Walters in real time. Kind of strange, but we won't talk about it. But it backfired horribly. And this is where I'm going to take a second because Act 3 starts altogether here in my opinion. So let's move to Team Robotnik's story. This film starts like the last with the threat. Shadow being awakened and breaking out as he's still very conscious even though he's in stasis. He's having memories of Maria playing Live and Learn. I love that detail. Once he gets out, Shadow is kind of finding his way around Tokyo when he realizes he's been trapped for 50 years. I'm glad they also confirmed that this takes place in like 2024, you know, modern day. I've heard people say so many wild things like, no, this is in the future, or this is like, you know, back in 1991. Like I have heard that before, and they just have modern day technology. I'm just like, dude, no, I think this is current day. Gun is following him and get their butts whooped again. That's when the Tokyo chase happens. So the same events play out. Then after that, Shadow meets Gerald. Gerald has plans though to get Ivo on his side as he knows Ivo is out there, and he succeeds. Shadow and Gerald's relationship is much different in this than the games, but how grounded it is and complex yet simple, it kind of works. I wouldn't say better than the games, but it works just as much as the games. Don't at me on that. Team Robotnik ends up with the first key, and then Shadow and Agent Stone head back to the Crab Robot where Robotnik has been staying, where both Robotniks go off and head to get the second key. The callbacks to both movie 1 and 2 are subtle and satisfying. Revenge guac, that was pretty funny. And you know, the fan service, Shadow was watching a show about Latinas, Shadow loves his Latinas. It's just funny, it's just funny. Just like the hero story, obviously, they all get caught by Captain Rockwell, but when Tom thinks he's got everyone fooled, Shadow injures him because he sees him as Commander Walters. But it was accidental, because afterward, you can see Shadow is very conflicted. Before Sonic even shows up, you can see it in his face. He's like, dude, what the heck did I just do? But then, of course, when Sonic goes over there and is bending over Tom, like, trying to make sure he's alive, it reminds him of Maria, and in that moment I feel like he's starting to like change very slightly. That would be the start of his character arc's like changing part. I wish I could show footage, or there was even footage out there, but you can definitely tell that this version of Shadow is more sentimental than the one in the games, and personally I am a huge fan of that change. Gerald, Shadow, and Robotnik have the second key, and revenge is on the way. The Eclipse Cannon that Gerald had built for Gun would be rightfully his, and his new plan to destroy everyone and everything, including himself, would finally come to be, no matter if that was only his want. Whew! What a build-up. Now, on to the final act. They weren't lying. This movie's last 30 minutes is special. Sonic matures a lot, but he has to have a bit of a fallback first. He wants the Master Emerald, which is in hiding, to kill Shadow, let's put it how it is, and was willing to fight Knuckles and Tails. Anyone in Bro's way. He was on his bully. He wasn't putting up with like no shit in this third act. I'll mention it later, but shout out to Ben Schwartz. His talent to go from friendly, corny, lighthearted Sonic to this, like, menace is impressive. I enjoyed that. We get a very light payoff to the Knuckles show for those who watched, as Wade is unfortunately, but also it's kind of funny, the guardian of the super weapon in the Master Emerald. I honestly thought it was going to be on Angel Island. I don't know why, I just thought it'd be cool. I was just thinking too much for this though. Once Sonic goes super, wasting no time, going right for Shadow directly, just plummeting through the Eclipse Cannon, and there the fight starts. But can we say this with full certainty? Shadow is the strongest being in this universe. He puts up a fight with Super Sonic. In base form? Hi, hello? I'll have a video on movie Shadow soon, guys. Trust, he's more than deserving. He even knocks Sonic out of his super form, and then they both get the emeralds, and they both have a fight in their super forms, which in my opinion has to be the best action scene in any movie this year. I've not watched every movie this year, but from the ones I did, this stacks up like very, very far above them. It was electric, it was fun, we obviously got the DBZ comparisons, but Sonic goes ballistic when his family is mentioned, possibly to kill Shadow again, but he makes the right choice, just like Tom talked to him about, and he lets Shadow live, because he knows that's not who he is. He doesn't want, nor does he need revenge. And finally, Shadow and Sonic have the talk they need. And the big difference love from the games is that Shadow just doesn't know better. He's angry and he's been trapped for 50 years. Nobody's first thought is going to be to play nice. He's been replaying the same exact traumatic events in his head, and he just seems more frustrated than, I guess, angry, in my opinion. They sit among the stars like Shadow and Maria once did, and they have a heart-to-heart and then decide to team up. As Live and Learn, a remix version, plays in the background, Team Sonic, Shadow, and Eggman are able to move the blast away from the Earth, but the explosion of the Eclipse Cannon would be catastrophic, and at this point, Sonic is the one plummeting to Earth, so Shadow takes off his inhibitor rings and keeps pushing the cannon away, far, far, far away from the Earth. Ivo has a send-off to Agent Stone, and they go to what seems like their demise. Team Sonic reconnects, and they redo the birthday party for Sonic, and race as the film comes to an end. I'm a nerd with this writing stuff, and the setups and payoffs for this movie is literal candy. Now, I know we say peak this and peak that, but that was like actually peak. Like, seriously, I love it. Now let's talk about these post-credits scenes. Jelly Roll's Run It is the first title credits thing. We see the cool sprites, the new low poly from, I believe, Sonic R, if I'm not mistaken. Okay, I'm not gonna talk about that. Let's get to the real stuff. Sonic overshoots his destination and is on his way to New York, it looks like. And we see our new character, Metal Sonic, is just there ready to blast him away, but Sonic makes light work of the first one. Then multiple pop up and it's looking like it's about to be a fight until a mysterious robed figure saves him. But it's not any figure, it's Amy Rose. And this left me so happy, but with also so many questions, like how did she get there? No, seriously, how? And why is she on Earth? Who created Metal Sonic? Can they get bigger from Metal Sonic at the helm? Like, he's gonna be the main antagonist. Is Eggman seriously dead? I'm gonna make a video on all of my predictions, because also my prediction was right. So give me my flowers. I'm happy with both Metal and Amy, but I'm not sure how they're gonna do this and pull off a bigger movie than 3, but I am excited. And the second post-credits scene is a lot shorter, but it's still good. Shadow is alive, and I believe that's all we needed to know. With his new story, as much as they cut a lot off, it does open the door for new stuff. I promise, this isn't the last of Shadow. And I have a video about that soon. Let's draw this video though back to its title. We need to first define a movie adaptation. A movie adaptation is a film when it is made based off of the source material like a book or play or even a video game. The filmmakers take the original story and transform it into a screenplay, often making changes to fit the visual and time constraints of a movie. This is exactly what Sonic 3 does. I know people really wanted this movie to be Sonic Adventure 2 the movie, but the care and focus they do to the changes are amazing, not only to Shadow's character, but also to Joe Robotnik's. Shadow is not from a comic in the games, but the movie universe grounds it more and could even make it interesting that he's a part of the Black Arms from the Black Comments. See the thinking? Gerald, I mean he's goofy, but also evil through and through, and his character ends up in the same spot, annihilated. Maria's story is the one I enjoy way more, just a little bit. But at the end of the day, her relationship with Shadow is still heartfelt and leaves the door open for more potentially seeing of their backstories together. And yes, this is not SA2 the movie. Let me say that again. It isn't. But it's a grounded story with a relative same conclusion that ties everything up and keeps very similar connective story beats. This is what a faithful adaptation looks like. Team Sonic's dynamic. The boys are much more fun in this rendition. Each are a main character essentially. Tails and Knuckles are much more main. Sonic is still very much the main character, but the brothership and growth off screen is felt. Ben Schwartz, Colleen O'Shaughnessy, and Idris did a fantastic job. Might be my favorite trio of actors who work together? Question mark? Shadow and Maria. I will make a video on them and him, of course, but it's once again more grounded. Alia Brown plays her role as Maria very well, in my opinion. I can see a prequel of them doing and getting into trouble. Shadow seems kind. In the games, he seems more driven by revenge, and afterward he's just kind of like fed up but okay with everything. But in this, he seems like a sweetheart afterward, like a genuinely kind fella. So they will have to switch up a little bit with his character, though, probably making him a little bit more fed up, just so they don't fall into the same trope as Knuckles after movie 2. I have all the faith in the world in Jeff, Pat Casey, and I believe, I don't remember his last name, but Josh, the writers, and this movie crew to make it happen. Gerald and Robotnik. These two, though predictable, kill it and shouldn't be undermined to the CG characters. Jim Carrey does a phenomenal job at making them feel distinct and even pulls through with making Gerald evil by the end. I thought his goofy side would like overrule, but it didn't. Gerald's story change might rub people the wrong way, but I don't think so to a degree. It's so obviously better in the games, but the only two parts I'm not a fan of is that he wasn't trying to do good for humanity from the jump, and his relationship with Maria, in my opinion, is heavily undercooked. They just didn't do a great job at selling it, in my opinion. Overall score. I know I've posted 11 out of 10 on my socials, but that's just my hype score. Overall, genuinely, this movie's a 9 out of 10 in my book. It's wonderful, complex yet simple to understand, and on top of it, it's filled with lots and lots of action, tolerable jokes, and character growth with a family vibe that they hit on. Probably because that's a cozy feeling to hit on with this movie releasing near Christmas time. They scored on making a A-list movie for kids, families, and even adults get something from this. 9 out of 10, A. Thank you all so much for watching today's video. I ask only one thing: if you could give me a Christmas gift and drop a like on this video. Like I said, it gets it out to more people and it will also help the channel overall, getting it in the algorithm. I enjoyed this movie so much. It has been on my mind since I walked out of those theater doors. So please expect a lot of more videos on it very soon. With that being said, revenge guac. I love you guys. Wear your socks. Peace.
Coffee.